Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. Today we're continuing on the familiars testing, playing a list I'm going to call Blue-White Wizards. So this is specifically playing a Step Through, and then we're leaning on Murmuring Mystic for making a bunch of birds, and then Step Through can also obviously it gets the Mystic, but it also gets Mancer, it gets Seagate Oracle, it gets God Pharaoh's Faithful. So with all those things, it makes Step Through a bit more strong. And then the plan here is to flood the board eventually with the Murmuring Mystics. We're playing 3 counter spells for Ponza and Initiative, 1 Dawnbringer Cleric to get rid of pesky enchantments like Journey to Nowhere or Makeshift Munitions. And then over in the sideboard, we have new tech with Circle of Protection Blue. I found this is very good versus Terror. It shuts down Terror completely and also shuts down the Serpent. And with our deck, we're very strong against Gurmag Angler, so we can rely on our snaps specifically for the anglers. And then all we have to do is find and resolve a Circle of Protection, and our opponent's going to be pretty problem. It's going to be a big problem for our opponent to actually kill us through all of that. So we'll be able to see that in the league as well. Other than that, I think that's pretty much the deck. I haven't changed too much. I'm just going on this Seagate Oracle Meeting of Minds Murmuring Mystic tech. This specific list, the main deck is basically from Lo Stancato, who is an Italian player, and we're going to try to use this to do another test through the league, see how it runs against the metagame, and everything like that. If you're interested in more about familiars, check out the pinned video on my YouTube, which explains familiars completely. You can also join the Patreon for up-to-date sideboard information, and we have a Patreon channel on the Discord where you can ask me any questions you want about the list, and I'll give you detailed information. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the matches. All right, for match 1, the sound didn't record, so I'm pulling up the actual video of it, and we're going to run through it at, and I'll just comment over the live video that has no sound. So this is our opener with Preordain Snap. It's a pretty medium, but we're going to keep it. It doesn't have that much going on. Like we have draw spells and everything, and our opponent leads on Volatile Ford. We're going to go ahead and fetch an island, see what they're up to, because we can hold up Counterspell if they're on Jeskai Ephemerate, but they go for an Augur Bolus, leading me to think this is probably the blue-red deck, and once we see the deep analysis, we know that it's definitely the blue-red deck. So we're up against blue-red Terror here. Play the tap land and we can just preordain. Find Floodplain and Glorian Revealed. We don't really need the Floodplain right now because we have land drops. The Lorien is another land drop. So we can just play our land, pass the turn, or we're going to cast a preordain, bottoming the plains because we already have it. Okay, we're going to top everything. Just take the land drops because it's a control mirror. Holding up Counterspell, and we have the Meeting of Minds. So what's happening here is I'm trying to hold up Counterspell for their Monarch, and then I can always Meeting of Minds end step. They're going to get in, casting a Monarch, we have the Counterspell. It's awesome for us. We can play the Seagate Oracle, find an Ephemerate, so we can hold up the Ephemerate here in case they have a removal spell. Our opponent plays a Murmuring Mystic, which isn't that big of a deal for us, because eventually we'll be able to just snap it off. Play the island, snap the Mystic. Let's see if they go for the Scred. I assumed that they were going to go for it, so I held up the Ephemerate so I could get the Seagate Oracle onto the table, and then keep it there. Grabbing, what do we grab here? An island just to make the land drops. I think that was probably a mistake. We can play out another Seagate Oracle, that way our Ephemerate's going to probably resolve next turn. So Counterspell I think is probably good here, but Faithful allows us to add to the table, still cast Meeting of Minds. Just use all my mana this turn. They cast another Murmuring Mystic. Gets in for 1. We have an Ephemerate resolving. Shoot the Seagate Oracle. They let that resolve. So it seems like they don't have a counterspell. We have Preordain and Familiar. Let's take the Fam. See if they have a counter. They pop off the Brainstorm. So now with the Fam in play, we can cast the Meeting of Minds just by tapping our creatures. Cast the Meeting of Minds, draw some cards. Another Faithful. Might as well get it onto the table. So we're just passing the turn. They thought scour themselves end step. Let me just make sure. Okay. We do have audio this time. Okay, so they're thought scouring themselves. I'm just going to flicker here to get the actual value for my cards. Draw. So double sleight of hand. We want our own Murmuring Mystic. And just the Faithful, I guess. They mill a Deep Analysis. So they can flashback the Deep Analysis, which is a lot of card advantage for them. They scred the Familiar, so that's dead. We don't have anything to do here, so we're just at the mercy of our opponent. Scred the Faithful. They're going very wide in the air, one card in hand. Deep Analysis. So, I think it's probably just Lorien Reveal time. Let's see what I actually did. So we can cast Lorien Revealed and hold up Counterspell. That's probably the play. Okay, we're just going to go Faithful into Mystic, hold up Counterspell. Go for the Lorien the next turn, so I can actually get some cards out of it. And we'll be able to counterspell their counter and get some value that way too. They have a Lorien Revealed. We're going for counterspell. We get a bird and some faithful triggers. They counter the counter. Swing for 1 billion. We're just going to chump the terror while we have a bird. Taking a lot of damage, but at least it's 1 blocker for 5 damage instead of 1 blocker for 1 damage. We get a bird up this Lorien. Draw 3. Find a snap and a destroy evil. So we could snap. We're just going to go ahead and do it with the destroy evil on their Mystic. Could have also snapped our Seed Oracle for cards. Play an Augur Bolus and reveal a Thought Scour. And cast another Lorien Revealed, which is brutal. Get in for 1 million. We block the terror and just trade a bird. Take 8 damage, so we're at 9 right now. And we're swinging out because our plan is to snap one of the Seagate Oracles. So we just play the Chancery, picking up the plains, snap the Seagate Oracle, get a bird, resolve the triggers, and then untap. Just tap 1 more island to play the Seagate Oracle, looking for a big draw spell, basically. Find a Lorien, so we definitely take that and cast it. Draw 3, get a bird. And we find a Step Through. So you could cycle the Step Through here for an Arcane Mancer. They have 7 cards in hand. You could also Step Through for a Seagate Oracle here, just for cards. We could, and then I decided to Step Through my 2 Seagate Oracles and return them to hand, so that I can just try to cast those for more cards and pass the turn. Our opponent casts a Brainstorm. Swing out with everything. So we're going to chump and trade and take 6 damage in the air. We have another terror. They kill our fam. So we find a Chancery, play Seagate Oracle, hoping that it resolves. Counterspell. Okay, so we are hoping they don't have another counterspell, and they have it. They had all 3 or all 4 counterspells that game and wrecked us. So sideboarding wise, we're going to bring in the Circle of Protection blue, cutting down on snaps, bringing in the negates. We could potentially cut the Destroy Evil here. I decided to take out a Faithful. And I think post-board, actually, the plan that I'm going to come up with for the last game is better. I decided to bring in a Heroic Existence, potentially for a Relic. But I think I actually meant to click Destroy Evil there, and I brought in the Revoke Existence, so that was a big mistake. And this is a fine hand because we have a bunch of land drops. We cycle for an island, picking up the Mortuary Mire. That might not have been necessary to cycle for an island there. It might have been better to keep the Lorien Revealed in hand, just because we have land drops already. They mill Lightning Bolt and Terror off of Thought Scour, and we slam a Seagate Oracle, finding the COP. So I'm just taking that because that's like our trump card here. They Thought Scour themselves, milling an Admiral, which is really good because I want the to be able to counter their Monarch. And putting it in the graveyard means they're not going to cast it. And we have the COP, so we're just going to put it on the table and then go for Faithful into Preordain. Or we're passing, not casting the Preordain, a little bit scared of a Spell Pierce, looks like. And they cycle the Lorien, finding a Terror, which we have the COP for. So, play the Seagate Oracle. They have to have Counterspell. And then we can mire it back. We say yes on that, pass the turn. I'm leaving up the Circle versus the Terror here, instead of casting the Preordain. Opponent casts Brainstorm, and then get in with the Terror. So we just circle the Terror and take no damage. This next turn, we place Faithful, cast Preordain, gains in life. Finding a Familiar and a Preordain. I think we probably need the Seagate Oracle here. Okay, gains more life. I'm gonna say we need both. They have a counterspell. Alright. Scred a Faithful. Cast a Lorien Revealed for a bunch of value. But this next turn we have Familiar into Drifter, Snap Drifter. So we can get some of that card advantage back. Drifter, Snap the Drifter. I'm looking to probably cast a Preordain here. And then what do we see? Snap, Step Through. So we could bottom the Step Through, top the Snap, and snap our Faithful. Looks like I'm just going to cycle for an island. Play that, pass the turn. Plan on Step Through for one of my value creatures. A Bolt the Familiar, okay. Gets in. And I decide to not use the circle and just Step Through. We're going to Step Through for just a Seagate Oracle for cards. Cast a Seagate Oracle. We did draw an Archaeomancer. They have a Pyroblast. We're going to now evoke a Drifter for a draw 2. They'd have to have a counterspell, but they don't. I misstacked the triggers there, but it doesn't matter that much because it wasn't going to do anything with it. And we're just passing the turn. 5 damage, not too bad. They have Deep Analysis for a draw 2. That was a big draw for them. Another Terror. We have another Circle, which doesn't do anything. Decide to draw the Familiar. Go for Archaeomancer for a value spell, but we don't get anything from it. Now we have Familiar into Drifter, Flicker, Drifter to try to get back the Archaeomancer. And their Augur Bolus didn't draw anything, but they get to play Deep Analysis into Brainstorm, so they have a ton of cards. And then they Thought Scour us. Okay, we double circle them, take no damage. My turn. Familiar. Evoke. Okay, do you have a response? Fire Blast. So I decided to go for the Flicker right now to put my creature on top. It's kind of weak to a Thought Scour, but they've already used a bunch of those, so I'm just going to pass. And then I can circle their 2 Terrors this turn. Circle the Terror. And the other one. It's kind of annoying actually resolving the Circle of Protection. What you have to do is, okay, go Archaeomancer for Flicker. Flicker the Mancer and the Mortuary Mire to get back a Muldrifter. Probably should have done this twice, but I'm just going to pass. So you have to click the circle, then click the mana, then click the creature. Okay, so they're going to get in. We take no damage again. They have 2 cards in hand. I decided to go for Evoke the Drifter and Flicker the Mancer and the Drifter, but we do walk into Removal Spell here. Scred on the Archaeomancer. So now we just Preordain. Now I'm like, what? Revoke Resistance. Oops. Play that out and we're going to pass the turn. Then we're going to circle a Terror. They have 1 card in hand now. They get in for 5. And we get in for 2. We're going to cast a Muldrifter, draw a bunch of cards. Play an island, cast the Lorien Revealed, draw a bunch more cards. And then now we have our own Murmuring Mystic. And they finally have a counterspell. They didn't counterspell the familiar or the Muldrifter or the Lorien Revealed, which was pretty surprising. Play another familiar, so now this Muldrifter just costs 2 mana. Draw a bunch of cards. And we can't actually use this counterspell this turn. And we'll circle the Terror. Take 5. Okay, they have one card in hand. We have an Ephemerate. So we're going to attack with the 2 Drifters, and then post-combat Ephemerate a Drifter. Ephemerate, that resolves easy, okay. Cast another Muldrifter. So we're taking over the game here. We have a Murmuring Mystic. We redraw the Revoke Existence as well. But we have Counterspell, so I feel pretty safe. They go for a Scred on the Mystic. I decided I'm just going to pass. And we Counterspell the Lorien Revealed here. It was much better to have Counterspelled that than the Scred. And then we just circle their creatures. And it's our turn. It's at this point that I noticed that my lag is getting really bad. So I'm very concerned about time. Ephemerate my Muldrifter to draw cards. Play Lorien Revealed to draw more cards. I'm looking for a way to get back the Archaeomancer or just find my other Archaeomancer. Find Meeting of Minds, which is pretty decent. Cast it. Find another Meeting of Minds. We're going to attack for 4. Ephemerate a Muldrifter to draw more cards. Faithful, not that good. Cast Meeting of Minds. I'm looking for my other Archaeomancer. Still did not find it. So now I play the Chancery and pick up the Mire, pass in the turn, and just guarding a million cards. We only have a negate in hand to handle their stuff. They decline to attack, which is nice of them. We Ephemerate the Drifter, looking for the Archaeomancer. We only have 4 cards left in the library, so now we're going to have to do Flicker shenanigans to not deck out. I'm feeling the time crunch. We Mire back the Archaeomancer, play Archaeomancer. We can grab the Ephemerate, and then go Ephemerate for Flicker. We have the negate for the Pyro. So Ephemerate, get back the Ephemerate. Ephemerate again, get back the Flicker. Then we can Flicker to put the Mancer on top. We have Counterspell in hand, so we can just pass the turn here. And get the Muldrifter back on top. Just attack. I guess that was my first Archaeomancer for the game. Never mind. Weird. Okay, and they scoop it up, which is lucky for us. We have 10 minutes on clock. Everything looked fine as far as the process usage, but we were chugging so hard. So I was trying to mess with that a little bit. But I decided, obviously, to take out the Revoke, and then I'm going to go 2 Hydroblast, 2 Negate, 1 Counterspell. I'm thinking it's possible also you could go down to just 2 Faithfuls here, if your plan is really to just completely void the terrors. So we're just making our land drops, passing the turn. This keep was pretty good because in control mirrors you really want to be land drop heavy. Play the land, pass the turn. I guess we'll play out the Sunscape Familiar and just see if they want to counter it. They don't counter it, but they can blast it or with a Scred or a Bolt. They keep the Scred. They pass the turn. They didn't have a land drop. We're picking up our land, passing the turn. So here, Murmuring Mystic is pretty good bait, but we're not going to play anything this turn yet. They cast an Augur of Bolas. So I'm going to cast the Mystic and see if they have a counterspell. This will allow me to resolve the Circle of Protection. I have the counterspell here for the Mystic, play the Circle. And I'm holding my big draw spells in hand, trying to find a moment to actually just resolve one of them. They have a Terror. They likely have a Red Blast here. Try the Mystic. Opponents considering it, they Red Blast. I could have just evoked the Muldrifter for some cards, but I decided that I wanted to circle. So circle the Terror, circle the Augur. See what our opponent does. We have another Muldrifter. I'm going to cast the Lorien Revealed. They counter it. Now I have 3 Muldrifters in hand. They've used 2 counterspells and a Pyroblast. And we just activate our circle. It's a really good trump card in this matchup. I'm very nervous about the actual clock. And our Muldrifter resolves, which is awesome. Pass the turn. And we have the 3 circle activations again. They cast their own Murmuring Mystic. So that's going to cause me some issues with time. Activate the circle. And then I go for a block. I'm not sure which is faster there, blocking or circling. You go for a bolt. So I play the Faithful, play the Mulldrifter, and then I can cast the Mancer, getting back the Lorien and pass the turn. Just adding more card advantage to my hand. They scred the Mancer, gets in for 1,000,000. So we're going to take 10 off these 2 terrors. Cast another Mulldrifter. And they have a counter spell, so I decide to play Meeting of Minds to see if I can draw into another counter. But I didn't. I draw the Hydroblast, which doesn't counter the counter spell. So play the Familiar out. Now I have Circle for the 2 terrors. They have a Lightning Bolt, so I'm just going to Hydroblast here and then circle the other terror, or one of the terrors. Take a lot of damage. Block. Our opponent's down to 5 minutes on clock, but we seem to be having a bigger problem than them. You can get another Faithful into play. Attack for 2. Flicker the Mulldrifter in an island to draw some cards. Another circle is not great. Cast Seagate Oracle. Snap is pretty decent. I can snap the Mulldrifter, and then we can recast it off the 2 bounce lands. So we're just going to cast the Mulldrifter. We can also Meeting of Minds. We can Circle of Protection. We have the Hydroblast. And at this point, I'm just like trying to close the game out. They get in for 2. They have 1 card in hand. Decide to cast the Meeting of Minds end step. They don't respond. Another Familiar is good. And then we're going to cast Lorien Revealed. They have no response. Cast Archaeomancer. Get back the Flicker. So now we have infinite life, sort of. We can just Flicker for life gain, but it doesn't help us that much. We have a counterspell, and I'll Ephemerate the Mancer, grabbing a Snap. Snap their Murmuring Mystic so I can counter it on the way back down. They have a Thought Scour because they want to just get a bird here. So we untap these. So we're pretty much in control of the game, but we are also kind of hosed. It's really low on time. Counterspell the Mystic. They decide to not attack. I have the Ephemerate. We're going to Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Once again, they have 1 card in hand. Ephemerate resolves, so I can Ephemerate to get back the counterspell. Grab a Snap. Snap a bird. So I'm trying to clear the way for my Mulldrifter. Draw 3 cards. Super concerned about timing out here. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Get back. Snap. Snap another bird. Okay, draw 2 with the Mulldrifter here. Get back Murmuring Mystic. 3:53 on clock. We Seagate Oracle. Get the Mystic. Cast the Mystic. And now we have our own infinite birds here. Just start making birds. We Flicker. So at this point, the Faithful triggers are causing me a lot of time loss. Grab the Archaeomancer. Pass the turn. Okay. So the thing to do here would be to get the Archaeomancer, play it. We have to negate this Lorien Revealed. We got to snap our Faithfuls off so that we can actually use our clock. Otherwise, it'll be too much time. We have a Brainstorm. We're at 2:56. We have way too much to resolve. Ephemerate resolves. Ephemerate. We have 1 card in hand. We cast the Archaeomancer. Gotta get the Snap. Snap our Faithful off. Get rid of these triggers. We're at 2:23 on clock. I feel like we are barely alive here. My computer was chugging so hard at this time. It was crazy. Ephemerate. They have a response. We just counter it. Grab the Snap. Snap the Faithful. Probably should have ephemerated for a counterspell here. I decided I was just going to wait and see if they would do anything. It's like we can just ephemerate in response. I ephemerate to get the negate. We can negate the brainstorm. We have a lot of birds now. We're at 48 life, so we don't no longer need to block. We only have 123 on clock. And that clock is just winding down so fast. I was so nervous. We have 10 birds. And I decided to just resolve the Ephemerate to get Counterspell. I tried to attack all with these, but it wasn't working, so we have 54 seconds on clock. Pass the turn. We smack them for 9. So no matter what they draw, we can use our Counterspell. We're at 43 seconds. Ah! They swing out, because that makes us have to press OK. We're at 34 seconds. Just go to attacks, send everything. Less than 30 seconds on clock and they take lethal damage. That was incredible. Whew. So that was round 1, and the rest of the rounds are live, and we'll see you there. Okay, round 2. I think this is probably fine. We have Muldrifter for drawing cards. We have Double Faithful and a Sunscape Familiar. We can play the Familiar on turn 2, or I think we'll probably fetch the plains and then see what happens. Usually I just lead with Faithful. The question, I guess, is whether or not Faithful in play is better than having double blue. Our opponent mulligans to 5, so they're likely some sort of combo or deck that Faithful would be good against. I think I would like to play it out. Okay, they kept 5. We're going to play the Broker's Hideout and grab the plains and pass the turn. Land Destruction doesn't usually mulligan to 5, but if we see Snow-Covered Forest sprawl on red, then we're just going to play the Faithful out, or the Familiar. And they lead on red, or Mountain. So, Faithful, play the Chancery. And we're going to pick up the plains. They're going to Lightning Bolt the Faithful. Okay. I think mistakes were made. They might have Gut Shot in hand, I guess? Maybe they just weren't paying that much attention and thought it was a familiar. So now they Reckless Impulse into Mountain Swiftspear. So we're looking for a cantrip, Seagate Oracle. I would like to not play Faithful Familiar this turn, just playing Plains, but we'll do that if we don't find anything else to do, just to use all of our mana. It's better to develop your blue sources if possible. Okay, our opponent just thought Faithful was an 0-3, so they tried to bolt it and they didn't realize it was dead. So we have nothing going on. I think it's better to, well, we could play out the, yeah, we're just going to do both things. Faithful into Familiar. This gives us the possibility of playing Drifter hardcast next turn if they don't kill the Familiar. They're going to go land, Swiftspear, we block with the Faithful. Then they have to choose whether or not to kill the Familiar or to kill the Faithful. They already wasted a card on trying to kill it, and they don't have it. 4 cards in hand, they're going to Rally at the Hornburg. This is kind of a cool Lord of the Rings card, I believe. Yeah. Create 2 1/1 humans. Humans you control get haste. We have 3 blockers, and they have 3 attackers. Another Faithful. I'm still going to play out the Muldrifter hardcast. 3 for 1. Find a Flicker. Played a land last turn. 4 cards in hand. Play another land, so they have 4 mana. And they're tapping 2, so probably another Reckless Impulse. Burning Tree. So this is a go wide version of the deck. Am I playing... So I think Seagate Oracle is pretty good against this specific version. I don't have any Prismatic Strands in the sideboard. This version is much better against familiars that are playing just cantrips because they go out faster than you can set up. And Bushwhacker. So they dump their hand completely. We can block a bunch of damage, but not all of it. We're at 23 right now, so I think we don't have to throw away the Muldrifter. We're taking 10, go to 13. But I have a Faithful to gain another 3 back and put up a blocker. Oh man, this just did not line up for our opponent. So we have to make sure that we attack first. Because the plan is to Drifter, Flicker, and draw 4. Evoke. Okay. Gain 3 life, go to 16. Remember, they attacked for 10 and we just... Oh, find another familiar and Ephemerate. That's nice. They attacked for 10, we just drew 4 and gained 6 life. Let's discard the Floodplain as the tap land, but I would like to play the Chancery to pick up the plains. And then I have double Chancery for snaps. Top deck's a Ren Resolve. So that's very good for our opponent. At least they get to draw 2 and try to find a way out. Another Bushwhacker. Yeah, it's fine. I think I'm still not gonna block. Maybe it doesn't matter. Block, block. Now we're taking 10 again. We have Drifter, Snap Drifter a couple of times. That's fine. Sunscape Familiar. Play the Chancery. We can pick up the plains. And now we're just going to put the hurt on them with Drifter, Snap Drifter. This is like one of the sweetest plays in the deck. Snap it. We have Murmuring Mystic too. Okay. But we don't have enough blue mana to do all of that. So let's develop some mana by going Drifter, Snap Drifter again. And then we can play the Mystic and go Drifter, Ephemerate. So Nap. We could snap their Goblin tokens to get them off the battlefield, but the cards for us are probably worth more than that. Cast Murmuring Mystic. Evoke the Mole Drifter. I suppose I didn't need to evoke it. Ephemerate the Mole Drifter. Make it token. We're at 27. What a wild time. GG, they say. Okay, so let's win the game. That was awesome. They just they did their thing. Slightly too slow. We overpowered them. So counter spells are coming out. I like negate. Destroy Evil has to come out. Question is whether or not I can afford to play Step Through as a very slow card. I want one Flicker. I think I'm gonna trim out an Ephemerate and take out the Step Through. And then just hope to draw into stuff. I want all my low to the ground blockers. And I don't think there's going to be time for me to step through for a Seagate Oracle. I like having negates for the land destruction that they play, like Raise. So we have 6 counter spells. And we kind of have to focus our counter spells on either their go wide spells or their bushwhackers. But they seem to have a lot of everything. Just add to the board and see what happens, basically. So we have turn 2 negate, turn 3 Seagate Oracle. We have basics. This is a medium keep, I think. 5 lands is not great, obviously. So they mulligan to 5 again. That's sort of disappointing for them. And Swift Spear. They mulligan straight to Swift Spear. They have 3 cards. We're going to undo the Swift Spear damage with the Broker's Hideout and pass the turn. Grabbing an island. Obviously we don't need to get the plains with the plains in hand. And it's better to develop our mana this way. Now they play another land. Okay, Burning Tree. It's pretty good. Into a Ren's Resolve. Wow. The Swift Spear Ren's Resolve, so we have to hold up the negate for that draw spell. And pass the turn. So we'll probably see the power of Seagate Oracle as a blocker here. Looks like they're going to play the Resolve. Okay. They didn't have a land drop previously, so this is a good stop for them. For me, I mean. We block the Ren's Resolve with a negate. They're going to attack us for 4. Probably not be able to play this. Nope, they have the land. So they likely should have played the land in the Swift Spear first. That would have given them 6 damage instead of 5. We'll see if that matters later. We have a Hydroblast. It's not useful at the moment because we don't have enough mana. So I'll take the Mystic just for a go wide. And I think I have to just block whatever. Voldair and Epicure. Try to block the 2/2. Lightning Bolt. Alright. It definitely stinks. I knew they had the dang raise. So they're hitting us for 4, and then for at least 5 next turn. We have a familiar. We pass a turn. Come on. Okay, counter that. No attacks for some reason, so we got lucky there. We got to go familiar into Seagate Oracle instead of blocking. I'll take the untap land. Pass the turn. So the next turn we can go Mystic plus Seagate Oracle and add to the board. There are 3 blockers. Synthesizer makes our creatures bigger, so kind of hoping that they find a 2-drop or something. A land. Okay, that's good for me. I'm gonna have 5 blockers next turn. They just decline to attack again. Let's play the Seagate Oracle. See if there's something better we want to do. Lorien Revealed or Preordain. I think I just want the cheap spell, Murmuring Mystic. Pass the turn. And now we're going wide. We'll lead on the Preordain to set up the Muldrifter draw. They're going to loot away a mountain. Okay, so they have 1 card in hand. They can't crack the Synthesizer. Looks like they're going to raise. Oh, Kuldotha Rebirth. That's interesting. I'm not sure if that's good or bad for me. I would rather have that than a raise, but still not very good. Kind of depends on whether they crack well with the Synthesizer. Right, just gonna resolve. You order the triggers. Find a Bushwhacker. We got really lucky that they didn't have 2 mana open here. They should just cast the Bushwhacker at a minimum. Okay, they just leave it in exile. Maybe they F6'd and didn't think it through. Okay, Faithful into Preordain. Add a creature and gain a life. Find another Faithful and a Lorien Revealed. So I'm gonna top both of these cards. I think they're just off. Said GG, good luck in the next. Okay, GG. See you in the next round. Now we're here in round 3 versus Ezacrado, who likes to play blue-based control type decks. We're on the draw. We have the Lorien Revealed for our second land. And we have Seagate Oracle as a turn 3 play, so I think I'm going to keep it. So it looks like they're on Jeskai Ephemerate or Affinity. I'm going to guess Jeskai Ephemerate, though. We did not find a third land. Okay, it's Affinity. Maybe. Oh. I'm going to pass the turn and not fetch until my turn to maximize the possibility that I just draw a land. Layer Husk, huh? Frogmite. Because if we're going to play, okay. Island cycling for a plane, or our plains island. Play it, pass the turn. We can snap the Flare Husk or the Germ token if we want. Turn off their Springleaf Drum and play the Faithful. Looks like they're holding up mana. Ninjas. Okay. Blue-red Ninja Affinity. Wow. Gonna snap the Germ. Faithful, go. Unfortunately, we don't have anything going on right now. Pretty bad. Not having our third land was a problem. I probably should have mulliganed. I think I'm going to concede. 6 damage coming in. They get to loot. It's not, I guess, technically over, right? Because we can... They discard the Flare Husk. 2 cards in hand. Alright, no third land. That was a mistake to keep that one. But it's pretty easy to sideboard against Affinity. Get rid of Destroy Evil. They come out fast, huh? Gonna get rid of 1 Ephemerate. Usually I trim all the Faithfuls, but we could just go down to 1 Faithful, given we have the step through, and then cut one of the Murmuring Mystics as the top end. Counter spells, huh? I think I'm going to bring in some number of negates. And the Hydroblast. Usually I bring in double Hydroblast over a familiar. So this answers their like permanents and then negates for their spells. Yeah, the snaps. I think that should be okay. They would like to play first. Keep. This is kind of awkward. I guess I'll just grab the planes. Get the planes. The thing about getting a planes here is that it really hoses our mana, but we do get the faithful out quickly, and then we just chancery pick up the planes. Doesn't allow us to hold up a negate though, once we play the familiar to protect it. They're playing a Vault Scourge. So they're kind of all in on this ninja plan. Okay, that's nice. Just dust you out. Boink. Your turn. They scoop it up. Okay, what a top deck. Nice for us. Submit. Brutal. Okay. So what do we got going on? We have no cantrips. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay. This is much better. Keep. I'm gonna get rid of the Ephemerate. Done. Play the plains and the faithful. If we find a third land, well, I'm thinking we can step through here for the Seagate Oracle. Play Froggy. They're gonna no tax. Pass the turn. They might have a Metallic Rebuke up. I guess that would make sense. They get in. I'm gonna block. They have the Ninja. They get to draw a card off your Ninja. Frogmite. I mean, the Ornithopter. That's not a Frogmite. Oh, it's a Wizard Cycle. I guess. Oh yeah, we only have the one. Grab the Seagate Oracle. Unfortunately, we have to jam into a Metallic Rebuke. They don't have it. Whew! Scary. All the glitters for 8 damage. Oh, jeez. Okay. Here comes a Seagate Oracle. So if they have Metallic Rebuke, how hosed am I? Pretty hosed. I'm going to take the Revoke Existence. If we draw a Snap, we can play both. I feel like they have the Metallic Rebuke, though. We can try for... Okay, they just kill us with the double glitters. Fair enough. On to round 4. So really where we lost this game was not making our third land drop. That's a very important part of Familiars, and even though we had the Dust to Dust, and I was kind of afraid of them having Metallic Rebuke, but who knows what they really had. So, we'll see. On to the next. Right. We're going to play first. Okay, we have 3 mana this time. Let's keep it. Play the island. And pass the turn. Probably just cycle Lorien Revealed for the duel on their end step. I don't know what Elk is playing. Elk 007. Oh god. Okay. Island cycling. Grab an island. No, snap this guy. Pass the turn. So we could island cycle right now for the duel, or we can island cycle for an island and definitely hit our land drop, and then play the Seagate Oracle, which I think is probably better. Oh man. Definitely grinds my gears having to play against land destruction. I'm going to try to chill. Okay, land, Seagate Oracle. We're definitely going to make our land drop next turn as well. With the Broker's Hideout to get the Faithful. So Broker's Hideout would be better in this instance as Evolving Wilds. We can't currently cast a Meeting of Minds. Okay, I'll take the Counterspell. That's the turn. We're pretty much hoping that they don't have the initiative right now. They have Wild Growth, so they can cast a 6-drop. Okay. Jewel Thief is not an Avenging Hunter. 4 mana, blow up your land. Okay. You blew up my land. Pass the turn. We're going to grab the plains. And your turn. No attacks. So next turn we can play the Faithful and block the Jewel Thief. This counterspell is just sitting on the possibility of an Avenging Hunter, but if they do go for like a big creature, I'll just have to counter it. Tap for 6 into Boarding Party. Boarding Party cascades, revealing Scred. We will reveal Counterspell for Boarding Party. Pass the turn. We'll go Faithful into Preordain. If we draw a land off the top, I'm just going to slam the Murmuring Mystic, because the Murmuring Mystic is super good against initiative. We get hit for 3 and go to 18. Find a snap. We can Faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I suppose it's better to snap the Arbor Elf, get it off the table. And tap. Preordain. Looking for lands. Find Lorians. So top and top. Go ahead and cycle the Lorien for a tap land and play it. Your turn. So this next turn, Murmuring Mystic, and then we can start doing nasty stuff with Medium Minds, maybe. They play a land, or well, not a land, they play Utopia Sprawl in their lands. They have 5 mana now. Now they can jam the Avenging Hunter. They just kill our land. You are a fan of fun things. This is a tempo deck where, okay, we can play Faithful, and then we can tap the Faithfuls for the Meeting of Minds. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to take some damage. Pass the turn. I guess we'll see what they do. Come on. Boarding Party into Avenging Hunter. Yikes. So question is, do I cycle the land? I think no. So they do all their stuff. They get a mountain. They play the Boarding Party. Blah, blah, blah. Good for you. Plays a land. Their deck is definitely doing its thing. Attack for 9. Next turn they're going to attack for 16. We can block 3 of it. So that means we're taking 13. Currently at 13. We'll go to 15 off the Murmuring Mystic. Oh, if I had cycled this, I could play both. So I'm not probably going to be able to cast Lorien Reveal next turn. Just going to cycle it. Grab an island. Although if I'd cycled it, I probably wouldn't have made the same draw. Cast a Mystic, pass the turn. So this will put us to 2. We don't really have anything to do on the crackback. We're likely just dead here. We can block the Boarding Party with the Faithful. They can also put counters on the Jewel Thief to make it a 5. Yeah, that makes more sense. Oh, geez. I'm going to take 10, block here. They'll blow up my land. I'll just scoop the game. In this matchup, you definitely are better off having the cantrip-based deck. We only have a familiar in hand, so there's not a lot of likelihood that we'll be able to accomplish anything here. Okay, cool. Cool. So bring in the counter spells. And then I'm going to cut some of these. And the Ephemerate. And I'll submit. Actually, well, I could cut a Snap maybe. Or Hydroblast. I guess it doesn't matter. We have some lands. I'm going to keep it. Try Preordaining. Mystic Snap. I'm going to top both. So if they don't present turn 2 land destruction, we have a really good hand. If they do, then we don't. Let's cycle this for the dual land. Play that tapped. You might be saying, why did you keep Chanceries? And it's because if they didn't present turn 2 land destruction, we would be okay. But here is the turn 2 land destruction. Let's preordain. Bottom. Pop that. Just start running lands out, hoping they don't have it. What are you going to do? Here comes a boarding party into a thermokarst. Nope, they rip a scred. Okay, so I think what I want to do here, they have 4 mana. Oh man, okay, so we could potentially get going. Familiar, snap the elf. Untap lands. Play the Murmuring Mystic. So this allows us to go bounce land, snap, Drifter Preordain, Llanowar Visionary, Arbor Elf. Okay. Attacks for 6. I think I should just Drifter Snap Drifter. No blocks. So we have 3 mana. This costs 4. This makes us have 5 mana. If we tap the 3, play this, and snap, then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Then we can Preordain into Muldrifter. Or we can go Drifter, Snap, Drifter. But they're going to untap with 7 mana. I think I'm going to Chancery, pick this up. Then I'm going to snap the Arbor Elf. Take them off of mana. Make a bird. Cast Preordain. Godpharaoh's Faithful and a Mortuary Mire. Bottom the Mire. Top the Faithful. Faithful into Muldrifter. Your turn. If they don't have land destruction this turn, we can just play the Lorien Revealed. I think here I probably want to double block the boarding party with the Muldrifter and the bird. If they have land destruction, we'll just play the Broker's Hideout for an island. Now they have 4 mana, 5 mana. They cycle a Generous End. Tapping off their red mana. Blowing up my land, maybe? Plays Arbor Elf. Acid Moss. They are going to attack, so we'll kill that thing. Okay. I definitely don't want that to live, and I can't afford to take the damage. Play a Familiar. Play Broker's Hideout for blue. Go to 10 life. And I will attack you. That's a turn again. Question is, both the Muldrifter and the Lorien Revealed are 3-for-1s basically, because Muldrifter puts a body on the table and gets 2 cards, Lorien Revealed draws 3 cards, but the drawing 3 cards plus putting a bird on the table might be worth more at this time. They scred the Mystic. Okay, so no birds. Cast a Generous End. They get a food. Double Drifters, so let's play the Muldrifter. Find a negate, so I'm going to play the land and hold up my negate. We can afford to take a couple hits from the Generous End. No blocks this time. So we go to 6. And plays an Arbor Elf. Those top decks, though. Alright, let's attack. What I mean is they did not have very good top decks, because they top decked an Arbor Elf. That's what you get. Okay, you go to 17. Evoke the Drifter. We have negate in case they have a relic or a land destruction spell. Okay, cancel. We can cast Meaning of Minds. Tap, tap. Draw 2. Actually, we can step through. We have the Murmuring Mystic. Let's flicker here. We can step through for the Arcane Mancer on their end step. Alright, so we drew a bunch of lands. Let's play out land, Murmuring Mystic. Then next turn we can step through for the Arcane Mancer and get infinite life and infinite tokens. They just scoop it up. Alright, well, we were definitely gonna win. Try again. Snap's probably useful over the Hydroblast. Let's keep the snaps in. So what are we looking at here? We have Island. We can cycle for another island or cast Preordain on turn 2. We have Negate, so if they allow us to have 2 mana at some point, we can counter their land destruction. We have Flicker that can also counter land destruction. I think I'm going to keep it. But if we don't draw a land on turn 2, we'd have to go land and then potentially just cycle for a land. Keep. Okay, they lead on a forest. That means no turn 2 land destruction. We'll probably have it on turn 3 though. They're probably going to cycle for cycle a Generation. I'm going to preordain looking for a land. Okay, Faithful. I think I can bottom that right now. Keep that land. Pass the turn. So this allows us to play land, hold up negate. We can also cycle for an island later. We can always step through back the Faithful. There's a tap land. Land pass. 3 mana. The very late land destruction counter. We don't have another counter here, so I'm going to island cycle for a duel and just play that out. Pass the turn. They do nothing. So let's floodplain, pass the turn. Cycle's a generous end. So this smells like initiative, right? I think I want to step through for the Seagate Oracle. Oh, Memory Mystic's better. Just take that. Okay, we have a counterspell. Play the Chancery. Pass the turn. There's counterspell for initiative or a land destruction spell. And then we can play the Murmuring Mystic and snap as well. Yup, I knew it was going to happen. Bam. And then we can just Arcane Mancer back our counterspell. Doot. Grab that counterspell. That's turn. I guess we're doing unfair things if we ever get to our land drops. Cycles another Generous End. So now they have 6 mana. They grab a regular forest with 5 mana. They know we have counterspell in hand. On the next turn, we can play Murmuring Mystic holding up counterspell. I'll just snap my Arcane Mancer. Tap. They're gonna do nothing. Let's just make a land drop. Play Arcane Mancer again. Do I want to grab the negate or the snap? Could also grab step through. That's probably better because step through can get our other Mancer and then we can have a flicker lock. Okay, 7 mana for our opponent. 5, 6. They're gonna cast a big ol' Cascader. Noid Altasaur. Reveals a Flame Slash. Okay, counterspell. Gonna play the Murmuring Mystic. Pass the turn. 6/5 is pretty big, but we can cast the Meaning of Minds and then generate a token and then start casting Meaning of Minds like crazy. 4 mana, 5 mana. They cast an Avenging Hunter. Okay. They get the initiative, but we're gonna likely be able to take it back because I don't know if they're gonna attack with their Altasaur or not. Actually, they do attack with the Altasaur. Okay, no blocks. They scred the Murmuring Mystic. Well, I'm gonna flicker. You have another scred in hand. Scred's the Mancer. Okay. Well, one thing I can do is attack and then step through their stuff, or I can step through for the Faithful, attack them, then Meeting of Minds. Guess I attack first. We're gonna take 11. Attack you. So we're gonna grab an island. Play the island. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can cast Muldrifter and step through right now for Faithful, play the Faithful, and then cast Muldrifter. Or we can step through for the Arcane Mancer, play the Arcane Mancer for the Flicker, and hold up negate. That seems better. Mancer. Hey Mancer. Grab the flicker. Let's see what they're up to. So if they have like anything that I can negate, that'd be good. Okay, they're going to attack for a lot. 11 damage. To take it. They're going to forge. Sorry. Party face. Okay. They make their Avenging Hunter bigger. That's another Avenging Hunter. Okay, that wins the game. That sucks. Well played, I guess. They had 3 Avenging Hunters. Dang. On to the next. Round 3, or 5. We're going to keep this. Boros, maybe? Play the Floodplain, pass the turn. So we can turn 3, evoke the Drifter, and then we can... Okay, so it's Jeskai Ephemerate. Yeah, life's hard. Darn. Not an easy matchup, that's for sure. Not sure how I feel about this deck right now. Play the Faithful, land, pass the turn. Kind of snap. Let's go ahead and grab the dual land. Play that. Pass the turn. And then the next turn we can evoke a Drifter and then put it back on top with the Mortuary Mire. They cycle a Lorien, grabbing a blue-red dual. Now their Scred's going to be online. They're going to evoke a Drifter, and then Ephemerate. And then play it. No, they just let it go. Interesting. So I think we're going to go to 7. We're going to evoke our own Muldrifter. Draw 2. Play the Mortuary Mire and get back the Drifter. Pass the turn. If we can get the Familiar up through a counterspell, then we'll be in a good spot. 3 mana, 4 mana, late to dinner. Okay. I did feel like that was a possibility. They have a Bolt or Pyroblast or something. I cast into the fire. Let's play the Familiar. Could be a Spell Pierce too. Chancery back the Mortuary Mire. Try to keep that off the table in case they have a Cleansing Wildfire. Do I want to snap their Drifter? I think not right now. They're tapping for 3 mana. Yeah, they tapped and untapped. Plays an Augur of Bolus. So they have Counterspell represented and some bolts. There's a Counterspell for sure. Well, they have 8 cards in hand. This card's an Augur. We can evoke the Drifter, they counterspell it, we put it back with the Mortuary Mire. And then just try that. Evoke this. Weird. Okay, I'll pay the 2. Okay. I will not pay the 2. I guess I could have snapped first and then paid the 2. But that doesn't do that much. Alright, I'll get it back again, I guess. Then I'm going to play out the Murmuring Mystic into the counterspell. They could also just Wildfire me to make me... Oh, they have their own Murmuring Mystic. Okay. Pass the turn. 1 counterspell, 3 unknowns. Here's a Mystic. That resolves? No. So they don't want my Murmuring Mystic to resolve. Okay. So I can play the Chancery. Pick up this. And I can Drifter, Snap Drifter. Evoke. Then I can snap it. Bam. We can destroy evil their Murmuring Mystic right now. Or I can just draw 4 cards. Drawing 4 cards is probably not necessary right now. Let's play Muldrifter. Then I can discard the extra Chancery. Okay. We have a lot of things that are not going to help us draw cards right now. They've used 1, 2, 3. They have 3 counterspells left. Gets in. Sure. And they played a Razortide Bridge for turn. Okay, I'm gonna go play Faithful. Play Murmuring Mystic. They're okay with that resolving. Nope, counterspell. Alright. Destroy Evil, your Murmuring Mystic. They're gonna counterspell again. That is all their counterspells. No, 1, 2, 3. So maybe it's good right now to just draw some cards. I'm a little concerned that they have a removal spell. I think they have nothing. Yay. Okay, Seagate Oracle, pass turn. So we can maybe block with the Muldrifter, mire it back, Seagate Oracle, get the Muldrifter, cast the Muldrifter. They gain some life with their food from the late to dinner. They got 2 cards in hand. Ardent Elementalist is going to get back a counterspell, huh? They could get back to Wildfire. Oh, they could also get back to Lorien Revealed for a draw 3. Yeah, that seems like a good play. They're going to draw 3 cards. Okay. Hopefully they attack us. I'm not super concerned about them going wide with the birds. Block. And then we can just mire it back. Mire. Get the Muldrifter. Yes. Seagate Oracle. Get some life. And then we get the Muldrifter. Cast the Muldrifter. With Meeting of Minds. And I guess this one. So we want to be able to block with the Drifter. We can snap a bird, play Familiar, play Seagate Oracle. I'll just snap the Murray Mystic, since that was pretty mana intensive for them. Sunscape Familiar, the Seagate Oracle, and we find Archaeomancer. So I'll play that and grab the Ghostly Flicker. So we still have to fade them having more counterspells. They have 1 counterspell left in the deck, and then all their million Ephemerates. So we're probably going to just upkeep. Right now we have infinite life if they don't have anything. But we can upkeep Flicker, the Mancer, and the Mortuary Mire to try to draw. They Scred. Okay, so that's fine. Well, not great, but if they have a counterspell, we're kind of hosed here. They have Murmuring Mystic and 3 unknowns. We're going to upkeep Flicker, the Muldrifter, and the Mortuary Mire. Opponent's tapping and untapping, ephemerating, unephemerating. Man, Ephemerate's pretty brutal at this moment. They get counterspell, so we can't Flicker. They're just going to counterspell lock us out of the game. We draw an Archaeomancer. Wow. Okay, Familiar. Island. Let's play out their Archaeomancer. They're going to counterspell. They're not going to counterspell. Okay, they are going to counterspell. So now I can Flicker, Muldrifter, Mire. Wow. That's brutal. They had 6 counterspells. They didn't even cantrip at all. We got wrecked. Oh, man. Let's get rid of Destroy Evil. Faithful's coming out. We want the Hydroblasts. We want the Dusts. I'm just going to bring in 1 Revoke Existence. The possibility of messing them up. Cut some number of snaps. And then submit that way. That was pretty brutal. Opponent had the best possibles. I'm going to play this land and pass the turn. And once again, I'm not going to fetch until my turn, in case I can draw another land. This is going to be a tap land anyway. Floodplain, go. We got so unbelievably wrecked. Man. Land. Kill your land. Pass the turn. Nothing, huh? Sick. That's the way. Sneaky Oracle looking for a land. Mine Chancery. So just gonna play that. Pick this up. And then Familiar into Mancer for the revoke. Yeah, buddy. Got him. So we're gonna bring in the Hydroblast and the revoke. I wonder if I should cut some number of familiars. Step 3 is probably not that good. One of us is just gonna go bigger with Murmuring Mystic. So snap not that good. The reason I'm bringing in all these Hydros is, yeah, let's cut a counterspell. I want to be able to Hydroblast their Wildfires. Well, we can't keep this hand. It is 0 mana. We're gonna mulligan. Okay, I'll keep. I have counterspell. I will put back the Ephemerate. That's the turn. So unfortunately, we're gonna go land. So if they have turn 2 Wildfire, they might not have it. Land. Pass the turn. Pass again. They play a red land and pass. Play an island and pass the turn. We're going to wait as long as possible to cycle DeLoreans to try to make land drops naturally, and then that'll be a threat for later. We can play our floodplain and pass. Okay, what do you got? Land. They're gonna Wildfire. I will attempt to counterspell. Sweet. We draw another counterspell. Play this, picking up the land. So if they can get ahead on their land drops, they're going to be favored. That's why I just counter. Land. Let's play Seagate Oracle since we have counterspell lined up as a cantrip for us. Do I want to take the Revoke Existence? I think at this point I don't. Take the land, pass the turn. Usually in control mirrors, you want to make more land drops than your opponent. So them having Wildfire is like where they make more land drops than us. Play Augur Bolus. Okay. Blind Augur. Let's see if they always hit. They whiff. Nice. Alright, it's mean for me to say nice there, isn't it? Sorry. Land. Double counterspell. So let's hold up the counterspells. We can end step the Meeting Minds. Alright, Meeting Minds. 1. Draw 2 cards. Red Blast. Try to use their mana on their turn. I'll cast a counterspell. Red Blast. Okay. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's cycle this. Grab an island. 7 mana. Cast Lorien Revealed. Counterspell. Counterspell again. We draw 3. Awesome. They probably have Lorien in hand as well. They have a Preordain. So we're going to slam the Mystic and then fetch with the Rokers. And they have Drifter Ephemerate? No, they have their own Mystic. Okay. We can revoke their bridge. Turn off their Wildfires. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cast Murmuring Mystic. Just go ahead and get rid of their land. And pass the turn. So turning off their Wildfires, they could Wildfire our lands, of course. And we're looking for another draw spell. They play a land, pass the turn. Okay, we got to fetch with the Broker's Hideout. But then, kind of almost out of lands in the deck. Get an island, and we will attack. Take 1. So right now we have 2 more Loriens and a meeting. They're going to bolt my bird. Bolt my Seagate Oracle. Okay. They were going to trade birds. Bird trade. So now they have more attacks than we do. I would rather negate Vague Draw spell than anything else, and they play a land and pass. So they're going to attack for 2. We're just going to block. Take 1, go to 20. Preordain, we get a bird. Muldrift or Familiar? Do I want the Familiar right now? I think yes. Well, I'm going to say no to the Familiar because I want to have as much card draw as possible, and that does not draw me cards. Don't really need it at the moment. Play the Chancery, picking up the island. Pass the turn. So, don't have much in the graveyard. I think I'm going to Mancer for the Lorien. Here's 4 mana for the opponent, 5 mana, so they have a Lorien revealed, and we're going to counter. We get a bird, they get a bird. Everybody's got birds. Lorien revealed is weird, because everybody's just like, we're highly reliant on it right now. Get another Lorien revealed. They scooped to that, alright. So, we got wrecked by a, let's go back to the list. Blue-white wizards. So we got wrecked by double all that glitters on a flyer. Yeah, can't do very much about that. And we also got mana screw that game. And then we lost to Ponza. And we did pretty well in the rest. I think versus those two decks, we probably would be better off with the cantrip plan. Still trying to figure out what to do. Step through was kind of medium, I think. I'm not really sold on it. I think I would rather just have cantrips and stuff. But I enjoy playing Familiars, and I hope you enjoyed watching. We'll see you in the next video.